Hi, it's Chris Kerr, and I want to take a second. I'm at this beautiful hotel called the Island Hotel in Newport Beach, California, and I'm just taking a moment out of this fantastic series of meetings that the Elite Meeting Alliance has set up for us for the weekend. We're getting introduced to different hotels and properties and vendors and other meeting planners and speakers, and knowledge is being downloaded to us. We're getting a great treatment here. While I'm here, though, I'm getting asked a lot of questions, and the questions are all coming to the same answer. And it's an answer that's I've been very passionate about for a number of years, and it's just getting a large volume of that question, or that kind of question, and the answer is always the same. And I think it's important, really important, if it's all kind of coming to a head right now, I need to record something about this. So I'm just taking a second to answer that question. The question really boils down to this. I have the driver who drove me in here is a 23-year-old son who just graduated from college, and he's looking at getting into a career, and he's having a hard time finding a job because, surprise, surprise, this is 2016, there aren't a lot of jobs in a lot of career fields right now. And a lot of his friends in college, not a lot of jobs for all their degrees. The father is trying to see what fatherly advice he can give to help his kid kind of figure out what to do with their degree and with their education to get the experience they need to go build the life they really want to have. So he asked me what my advice was. Likewise, I had somebody else that I met here. She was talking about her brother. Her brother's about to go to college, but he's not a college guy. He's really smart, but school is not his bag. He's into so many other things. He's good with his hands, he's good with developing things and putting things together, but school, the regimen of school, is not his thing. So she's looking at it going, here's the big pressure, and the world seems to want to make him feel stupid if he doesn't want to go to college. But you're sentencing that kid to a 4 to 10 year window of failure and stress and frustration and depression to then get a job he never really wanted in the first place, doing things he's not terribly happy doing for the rest of his life. And as a sister, she's looking at that saying, this is not what I want for my brother. Help, what can you suggest? Somebody else was talking about their parents, who they kind of got shoved out of their corporate jobs after 25 and 27-year careers each, all with the same company, into early retirement. They're in their early 50s. They're ready to spend another 10 years or 15 years working productively. They've got fantastic expertise and experience. And you know what? They can't get jobs in their industry. What's going on? How can they get help? What should they do? I ran into somebody earlier in the week, because this question was coming up before I ever came on the trip, from a lot of other people. I ran into somebody earlier in the week who had mentioned something in passing. They'd mentioned that wonderful term YOLO, Y-O-L-O, you only live once. And it kind of hit me like a Gibbsian twack to the back of the head, how badly misused that term is. We think of it like going to Vegas and you only live once, party on, right? It's the excuse to do everything we want to do that's fun. But I almost never hear it as the reason why we live our lives and why we do the things we do. For our careers, for our jobs, for the things that make us proud of who we are, for the things that we want to do every day, when our feet hit the floor, all the way till our heads hit the pillows at night. That time you only get one shot at. And at the end of that day, what did you do that you're so proud of, that left a mark that the world's going to remember you for? What did you do? Because you only live once. You only get one shot at doing what you are good at, what you are great at, what you can be remembered for. What did you do? Because you only live once. Those two things, the issues that everyone has been asking the question about, and that you only live once concept of your work life, your productive life, the life you're proud of, those two things have a common answer. And that common answer is this: why? Why do you do it? Why are you here? I was watching an Eric Thomas video. Great motivational speaker. Definitely recommend you go check out his stuff. And he was talking to a group of high school kids. And he was talking about how you're going to get successful. When every day of your life you're dealing with the drudgery or the work or the effort that it takes to be successful at something. What keeps you going? What keeps you fired up? What will let you overcome all that drudgery and hard work and the pain that goes with it to get to your successes? What's going to do that for you? And he said your why has to be big enough. And that got me thinking for a second. I've been told on 7 different occasions by doctors to get my affairs in order. Throughout my life, 7 different times, doctors have said I would not survive. I could not survive. So I needed to get my affairs in order, tell my loved ones goodbye, because sooner or later that definite deadline for me was imminent. The earliest one I remember is well over 25 years ago, and I'm still here. The only answer to that is because my why has always been stronger than things in my way. I had a reason to be here. I had a reason to keep going, to keep fighting, to keep staying in it, to keep trying to survive, to keep being here. In business, I have failed many times. I have succeeded many times too. But I remember every single time anyone has ever told me what I was about to do was impossible, couldn't be done. And well over 80% of the time, I did them. They may not have been perfect, they may not have been wonderful, but I did what they said I couldn't do. I could never do. I did it. Because my why was so much more powerful than the things in my way. When you're kids, you're asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? That's the dumbest question ever. It sets us all up for this lifetime of expectation for all the wrong things. We're asking the wrong question. Why do you want to be remembered? What is so powerful that you can do that'll make an impact on the people in your lives and the ripples in behind that? What can you do? What do you want to do so badly? Nothing is going to get in your way. That's the question we need to be asking. You answer that question, you'll find an answer. Any career that you want to do, you'll find an answer. Arizona has about 5,000 graduates every year in the broadcast journalism industry. There are only about 12 jobs in that industry nationwide. So you're graduating 5,000 people who have no chance at all of getting a job in their field. None. No chance. The radio industry is collapsing, or condensing is a better word. TV, same thing. Print, same thing. You're not getting broadcast journalism jobs. They're not coming up. But there's a funny thing going on. Corporate America and the corporations of the world need content. They need individual companies, freelancers, small groups of people who are experts at what they do to build content for them. Content that requires often a video production manager, a camera person, somebody to stand in front of the camera and do the demo or do the explanation. They need hosts, they need script writers, they need all the things that goes into, coincidentally, broadcast journalism and broadcasting and the arts. You can build your own company then, and you don't have to worry about a job because there are thousands and thousands and thousands of companies that need what that job does, but you have to build it yourself. You're not going to get it with the big companies in those industries because they don't bloody well exist. The jobs aren't there. I was explaining to my driver, one of the big issues is this. 3 years ago, 2013, was the first time in American history ever that 18,500 companies represented 51% of the private sector employees. 18,500 companies in the US have 51% of all the private sector jobs. It's never happened before. It's always been about small business. It's the way we've gotten through every single recession. Small business exploded. Because that's where you get between 5 and 10 times the jobs, as opposed to big business where you get 2 to 3 times the jobs. That's where the growth comes from. It's always from small business. So now that we only have 18,500 of these big businesses, those big businesses, you're going to get 3 or 4 businesses in each product line. So if you lose a job from one of them, there are only 2 or 3 other companies you can ever go to in the same field. Done. That's it. And if one of them's collapsing, what do you think the odds are that the others are going to be able to hire you? It's not going to happen, is it? So we're grooming, we're graduating, we're training, we're coaching, we're getting kids ready for this lifetime cycle of getting hired by one company eventually and not being able to transfer to another company for years. We're building that into our economy. We're building it into our lifestyle. Think of the depression that's going to come if you're stuck unemployed for a couple of years before the first opening comes up, and then you have to compete for it with thousands of other people. Why would you do that to your family? That's insane. But there are other options if you start your own business. If you stand on your 2 feet because your why is more powerful than the things in your way. You can tell I'm a little fired up about this. I'm pretty passionate about this. And because it's come up so many times, in the event today they're talking about why do you have your event? Events are successful so much more often when the why is so clear. They talk about Simon Sinek's work in the subject matter. They talk about a variety of other speakers and all their focus on the why being the most powerful and most important part of this. Because all of this why messaging has been coming to me today in particular, but the whole week, I needed to share that with you. I hope you found it useful and valuable. You're going to hear more about it from me in the future. But for now, I'm signing off. Thanks a whole bunch.